Now we're ready to start generating some of these sentences. So let's go over here. It's set up to save. Let's generate add positions 1, to add positions 121. And I'll time-lapse this. Okay, it's finished. Let's go see how it did and compare it to the MTT's translation. Okay, so TBTA generated John saw Mary the book. It should have generated, according to our MTT, John saw Mary's book. So we have some work to do. Almost all of these need some work. So let's go ahead and work on this one. Okay, John saw book owner Mary. If we rest our cursor here, we see that thing-thing relationship equals Saxon genitive. That's because, okay, if we rest our cursor here, features change from noun phrase location. NP location phrase was changed from unspecified to NP as prehead by complex concept insertion rules, common transfer rules copied from the library. Okay, we talked about that rule earlier. This is the one that set it to prehead. And then that last one, features changed from thing-thing relationship equals unspecified to Saxon genitive by transfer grammar, noun-noun relationships, specific noun-noun relationships. So that one was right here. Right here for owner. Right here, number 8. Oh, I mentioned in that previous video series, all of these rules are in the transfer grammar down to and including the noun-noun relationships. These are executed even before we click the generate button. So, for example, as soon as we load a verse, okay, TBTA has already executed these rules down through and including noun-noun relationships. So that's why we see at the bottom features change from thing-thing relationship equals unspecified to Saxon genitive by transfer grammar, noun-noun relationships, specific noun-noun relationships. So all of these rules have already been executed. Now let's work on this one. If we generate this now, okay, so it's a Saxon genitive, and we want to say that when it's a Saxon genitive, we want the clitic apostrophe s, and that should be done by a clitic rule, which is right here. So let's enter a group name. So this is a group. Now we'll enter a rule into this group by double-clicking. Okay. This will be a simple rule, just one clitic. If we're entering a table of clitics, then we'd click table, but this is just a simple, we're adding one clitic. The clitic's tag will be Saxon genitive. And as we type this, you see it appearing in here. This is a noun phrase, and these 3 sets of black dashes represent 3 words in the phrase. And right now this is set to preclitic. Okay, preclitics attach to the beginning of the first word in the phrase. Linguists have studied more than 1,000 of the world's 7,000 languages, and there are 3 types of clitics: preclitic, second position clitic, and postclitic. Preclitics attach to the beginning of the first word. Second position clitics attach to the end of the first word, and postclitics attach to the end of the last word. So this helps give you a visualization of your noun phrase and where the actual clitic will attach. Okay, this apostrophe s is a postclitic. We want it to attach to the end of the last word in the phrase. And we'll enter the actual clitic, apostrophe s, the gloss, possession. Let's enter a comment. I'll say OK. You cannot use an apostrophe as a character because it has special significance to this program. Okay, so let's change this apostrophe to that character. That's close. We'll clean this up later, but for now. Okay, so we've entered a new character. The unrecognized character is this mark. We'll say ignore this character. Say OK. Now we need to update the phonetic features for it. This is it's not applicable. It's not a consonant. It's not a vowel. Not applicable. Okay. So now if we generate this, oh, okay. So now we're getting a clitic at the end of every noun phrase. There was one more step in here. We need to specify the features for this noun phrase. And here there's no features button like in other rules. Instead we just double click, just click, and we want this to apply to Saxon genitives. So now this rule will apply only to noun phrases that have a thing-thing relationship of Saxon genitive. Okay, that's looking better. Let's change this mark. Let's use a find replace rule for that. There's a group for punctuation. Change that mark to, so our input string is that character, our output string is that character. Okay. Okay, getting closer. John saw Mary's the book. Okay, when a noun is modified by a Saxon genitive, we don't want the word the or this or that or any of those. So let's write a rule that says when a noun is modified by a Saxon genitive, we'll set the noun's participant tracking to generic, because that's what generates the. This noun's participant tracking is routine, and that generates the. So that will be a structural adjustment rule. Let's enter a new group called noun issues. I like to keep these in a certain order. Okay, noun issues. Okay, this rule will be triggered by nouns. We should select the category that's most relevant to the rule, and in this case it will be a noun. Okay, so we'll have a noun phrase with the noun, and there's another noun phrase embedded in it. And that embedded noun phrase needs to be a Saxon genitive. In the output structure, we'll set the features of this noun to generic. The participant tracking will be set to generic. Okay. John saw Mary's book. Generated text is identical to documents text. So let's save it. Let's go on. Okay, this is a body part. This is another Saxon genitive. So I think we've already fixed the sentence. Let's see. John saw Mary's hand. Generated text is identical. Let's save it. Go to the next one. John saw Mary's mother. Generated text is identical. Let's save it. Go to the next one. Okay, here we have a generic genitive. So we haven't dealt with this yet. John saw Mary's servant. Let's stop this video here and we'll work on this generic genitive in the next video.